I'm going to show you two different ways of looking at a university. I'm going to open with two quotations from dead white men writing in London in the 1840s. So John Stuart Mill, in On Liberty, John Stuart Mill is so wise about human frailties, foibles, biases, the awfulness of our thinking in many cases, and how it is that we need each other to think better, to correct our thinking. So as he wrote, "He who knows only his own side of the case knows little of that. His reasons may be good, and no one may have been able to refute them. But if he is equally unable to refute the reasons on the opposite side, if he does not so much as know what they are, he has no ground for preferring either opinion." Now, think of a university based on Mill's principles, and it's going to clearly be one that strives to represent diverse views. It's going to reach out for viewpoint diversity and encourage a culture of debate and challenge, and only in that way can we find truth together. On the other hand, Karl Marx, writing right around the same time, this is a quote that I've heard a lot, and when I Googled it, what I found, the exact words, they're pretty similar. He wrote, "The philosophers have only interpreted the world in various ways. The point is to change it." Now, you can hear his frustration with the professors, the academics, who will talk endlessly about this or that distinction, and he's saying, no, we need a revolution, we need to change. And so if we imagine a university based on a more Marxist approach to intellectual life, it's going to look extremely different. Now, what kind of university do you want? Do you want one focused on finding truth through debate, or one focused ultimately on changing the world? When I arrived at Yale in 1981, this is what it said over the main gate to the old campus: Lux et Veritas. It's written right there in stone, Veritas, truth. I was inducted into an institution with a long sense of tradition, going back clearly to the medieval universities like Oxford and Cambridge, and going back all the way to Plato's Academy 2,500 years before. It was really thrilling to feel that I was joining a fraternity, especially as a philosophy major. You really feel that link back to the academy and the debates and the symposium and the ways that these early philosophers would argue and in that way improve each other's thinking. But beginning in the 1990s, I believe, universities began to change. What was written over their doorway began to change, and I think they began to adopt change itself as more of the motto, the mantra, and not just any change, not just change for the sake of change, but social justice particularly. Social justice becomes much more important in the life of universities, I believe, in the 1990s. First, of course, from the various studies departments, the gender studies, race studies, all the different ethnic studies departments and areas, but then also the humanities more broadly. Now, let me make clear that many of the changes brought about by these forces in the 1990s were for the good. To the extent that the faculty became diversified, that's all to the good. To the extent that the areas studied, why study just the leaders and the kings and the presidents? Why not study the common people, the people who are oppressed? So to the extent that this was broadening what we study, broadening the people studying, broadening the canon that undergrads read, the books that they read, this is all to the good. I'm very happy about those changes, but I think this set in motion in the 90s a set of changes that are resonating today and that can help explain what happened last fall all around the country and the very rapid transformation that's occurring this year and last year.